Good morning, class. If you're wondering why my lips aren't moving, it's because I didn't have a mic for my camera last minute, so I decided to do a little voiceover instead. Today we'll be learning about field research or fieldwork. And what is fieldwork, you may ask? Simply put, fieldwork is when a researcher studies a person or group in their own natural setting. Fieldwork consists of real-world studies that do not manipulate variables. The researcher may interact with subjects, but does not try to affect the results of the study by interaction. It is used when researchers wish to gain a better understanding of a social structure, setting, or behavior. Fieldwork also uses different research techniques and is most useful for studying groups where experiments are not viable or practical due to the natural setting. An example of this would be a strip club. Studying men who frequent strip clubs with surveys would likely be ineffective due to men being embarrassed by their actions and not wanting to willingly participate. The club owner may also not want researchers in their space scaring customers away. Two important but general features of fieldwork are that there is a desire for a deeper understanding of behavior and a recognition amongst researchers that this deeper understanding is coming from a candid observation in a natural setting. Researcher John Laughlin provides a framework for analyzing social settings called Laughlin's 9 thinking units. These units help researchers categorize different social events or interactions. The thinking units are: Number 1. Meanings. How people interpret their social and cultural environments. An example could be how a couple interprets love, or how a gang interprets loyalty. Number 2. Practices. This refers to observable social behaviors like rituals. An example of this could be a rite of passage ceremony in certain cultures. Number 3. Episodes. Events with clear boundaries such as a divorce. Number 4. Encounters. These are interactions between two or more people who are in immediate proximity to the event, like a police officer and a suspect. Number 5. Roles. The positions that people occupy and the behavior associated with said positions. This could be things like a teacher, doctor, mother, etc. Number 6. Relationships. This is behavior between a pair of roles. Think of the relationship between a mother and a child or a teacher and a student. Number 7. Groups. These are small groups comprised of many roles, like a law firm or a factory where many people work different jobs in the same setting. Number 8. Organizations. Formal structures with defined hierarchies and positions. An example could be corporations or nonprofits. Finally, number 9. Settlements. These are social or physical spaces like neighborhoods and communities, but not on the same scale of a city or a large society. There are also different roles a researcher can take when conducting fieldwork. A researcher can be a complete participant, which is when the researcher observes the people they are interacting with, but does not alert them of their real identity or that they are being studied and monitored. An example being police going undercover as activists at a protest. This is specifically good for groups who do not want to be monitored or studied. They can take on the role of participant as observer, which is when the researcher will willingly participate with the subjects, but will make their identity known to the group. This is useful for experiments that may become dangerous, as the researcher doesn't have to participate all the time. They can be an observer as participant, which is when the researcher informs everyone that they are conducting research, but limits their participation. They will usually be watching from the sidelines. Or, a researcher can take the role of complete observer, where a researcher observes a subject without being involved in any way. So how is fieldwork different from other forms of research? Well, firstly, fieldwork is much more concerned with the people themselves as opposed to the settings/events that they are in and prioritizes contextual depth over data points. The research questions and framing also evolves as the study continues based on the way the subjects interact. Basically, it's much more sporadic than other research methods and embraces change and adaptability. Fieldwork also acknowledges the researcher is interpreting events and also may have a personal influence in the setting based on the role they take, which makes reflecting on one's biases extremely important in fieldwork. Well, that is all the time I have for today. I hope you've all learned a bit more about fieldwork. I know you probably haven't because we've talked about this a bunch of times in class, but I hope it was a little bit entertaining at least. See you guys.